Field Notes 12, 14, 20, 21.
While exploring the cave, we located some inscriptions on the wall. Currently, there's an argument over whether it's Latin or Greek. Personally, I think it might be Phoenician.
Welcome, church sherds and shards, to another episode of ArchyFantasies Reacts. And today it's like an Inception reaction because I am not gonna go track this person down on TikTok because I'm old. I don't get TikTok. Like, I get it. It's on my phone. I just have no freaking clue how it works. I'm sure that's how everybody felt about Snapchat and Instagram. So, you know, it's outside of my generation at this point. Anyway, my point is there is this individual, this person that you see in the smaller picture with the TikTok like icon. It's easy to see which one we're talking about. She's the one with the bear's ears. And then there's also this woman, this other person. Who is she? So this is the Lady of the Library, her YouTube channel, as you can clearly see. Again, I'm too lazy to do all of the things I guess you have to do. I hope this is enough. You can clearly see who she is. You can see that I am subscribed. I don't have the bell thing, but that's because I don't do the bell thing for anybody. All right, so the Lady of the Library. It helps when you pay attention. Her name is Cinza. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. As you can see, she is an Irish-English writer and PhD student based out of Scotland. She talks about books, academia, and philosophy. She also talks about fashion and that kind of stuff, so I'm there for it. She does do classical academia. She runs a podcast. She does the same thing I do with anyway. My point being that she knows her stuff about this kind of topic, which is ancient Rome never existed, y'all. So before we get too far into this, I just want to put my opinion out there and my credentials. I am an archaeologist. I am a trained archaeologist in historical archaeology. I have experience in prehistoric archaeology as it pertains to North America. I want you all to be fully aware of my credentials because the point is that I am not hiding them. Unlike some people who wear bear's ears and TikTok filters when they talk. Is that a thing? Should I have a filter? Should I be doing this with a filter on? Anyway. As you can see, she is a classicist. It means that she knows what she's talking about when it comes to like ancient Greek and Rome and Pompeii, which later on she gets to the point that is like, I don't know if it's her specialty, but it's definitely her passion. So, and this is important to know about Our Lady Cinza here because she is the authority, and that is the point. This person with the bear's ears is not an authority, does not have credentials, has been outed on the internet as not being knowledgeable in any of the topics that they are talking about in any of their TikTok threads. My personal opinion on the matter is you do not have to be formally educated in something to necessarily be an expert, but you do need to be able to demonstrate that expertise in a way that basically shows that you know what you're talking about. You don't get to just go, I'm an authority. I watched a video on YouTube this one time and now I know everything there is to know about economics. That is not how it works. I know it's how some people want it to work, but it is not how it works. And this individual, I don't know their real name. Again, not looking it up. I'm sure I can. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Because this person doesn't matter. I mean, they matter as in they are a person, and I hope that they have a happy life, and I hope that they have people around them that love and support them. But in the discussion that we're about to have, this individual doesn't matter because this individual is a symptom. This individual is not the cause. And we'll talk about the cause of this issue a little later on. I also want to throw out there that even though I will be recording myself watching this entire video that I've already watched once, I probably will have it cut. You will not watch me watch the whole thing because some of it is not necessary for the argument. the argument that I'm going to make. However, I do encourage you to go to the Lady of the Library's YouTube channel, and do watch the whole video. It is 46 minutes long. It's good. We're going to be watching it at time and a half. Any other disclaimers I need to put out there? Just the general content warnings. We're going to be talking about pseudo-archaeology, and things might pop up that I don't remember. She's British. They're classicists. They don't have issues with human remains being just on display randomly. So I don't know. I have listened to this. I have not watched it with my eyeballs. So without further ado, I suppose we should just jump in.
It always blows my mind talking to people who have invested their lives in the study of ancient Rome, because y'all don't seem to realize it didn't exist. It was bred in circuses. It's a circus, man.
Well, hello there, and welcome to my...
First off, it's really hard to take somebody seriously when they're wearing a filter like that. I get wanting to put a filter on to like smooth out your face or make it look like you're wearing makeup. Like, I get it. Filters are part of life. That's fine. It's fine. That particular filter is not the filter I would go to if I'm trying to make an academic argument. Just, throwing that out there.
My library. If you're new here, hello, my name is Chinsia, and if you're not new here, you're one of my lovely regulars. I hope you're doing well. So the video we just had a preview of is a video that popped up on my Twitter timeline a couple of weeks ago, and I was horrified. A fellow classicist shared it with me. I've never heard of such a thing before, but I ended up going down a big rabbit hole and writing a whole essay about it, and this is that video. So what we just saw was, apparently there's a TikToker online who doesn't believe the Roman Empire is real. For arguments I shall extrapolate on. I'm responding to this because whilst it might seem like light-hearted fun, someone's spreading a conspiracy theory online, like aliens exist and all that jazz.
I actually think I'm going to slow her down. That was actually too fast for me. I'm going to put her down to time and a quarter. I forget she's got she has an accent, obviously.
What we just saw was, apparently there's a TikToker online who doesn't believe the Roman Empire is real. For arguments I shall extrapolate on. I'm responding to this because whilst it might seem like light-hearted fun, someone's spreading a conspiracy theory online, like aliens exist and all that jazz, it's not the same vein as...
Actually, I knew this was coming up. Cinza and I will disagree completely here. It is the same thing, and it is important, and it's not lighthearted fun when people start spreading alien theories and lost civilizations, which is kind of what this theory is. It's a lost civilization theory, and we'll get to that. But this attitude of, oh, this funny little pseudo-archaeology topic, don't worry about it. Worry about it. Because later on she talks about how, these kind of, this use of history, and she's right here, the use of history to rewrite a narrative, a national narrative, a political narrative, or whatnot, is a real thing. It really does happen. You just need to look at American politics over the past, since 2016, probably even before, but it's been really evident since 2016. You only need to look at the politics to see that the alien theory stuff is not trivial. The lost civilization theory stuff is not trivial. Ancient aliens being on the air for 17 years, 12 years, something like that, is not trivial. Don't dismiss it. If you are an academic and you are poo-pooing it and dismissing these things as ha ha ha, aren't they funny, the little funny people with their funny little ideas, you are not helping. And if you are pissed off, which she is, about this idea that there is someone on TikTok talking about how Rome never existed, it's all the same thing. It all comes from the same space. If you're dismissing one as trivial, then you're dismissing the other one as trivial. If you want to treat one of them as important, then you have to treat the other one as important too. Just take my word on this. Trust me. We had politicians here who believed that the pyramids were built by aliens. They did not believe that Native Americans continue to exist to this day. My point is, these ha-ha conspiracies that everybody seems to want to dismiss as being goofy affect the reality that we all live in very, very tangible ways. So I'm going to step off my soapbox now.
As someone who specialises a lot of my research specialises in looking at how classical history in particular is manipulated, particularly by political parties, for their own egregious agendas. It's happened historically, particularly over the past 100 years, and therefore any manipulation of classical history to suit one's agenda is dangerous. Regardless of how lighthearted the medium of which something is happening, there's a danger to the idea of manipulating and misappropriating history for one's own agenda.
Okay, maybe she did agree with me right there, and I just missed it because I was so ticked off. If that is true, I don't retract anything I just said, but I apologize for being mad at the wrong person.
Now, why this person is doing this, I have zero idea. As you will see for the latter arguments, a lot of their arguments are quite ridiculous, to the point that I think that they're trolling, and this is all a joke, and they'll come out and say, oh, I was only joking, it was all a laugh, I just wanted the attention and the fuss, and they're basically a sensationalist. But to that I argue, to what point? Why would one who's positing themselves as an academic online, despite them having no actual valid degree that they claim to have, people have been doing the deep diving because internet is the internet and people will sleuth people out. But this person doesn't have the credentials they claim to have. But if they want to posit themselves as an academic online, I don't entirely see how that would benefit them, how spreading a conspiracy theory would benefit their academic credibility, because no one will take you seriously after that. No one will want to work with you after this, because it's such an extreme example of manipulation and lying, which you will see how badly this person lies. I will expose what they're talking about.
I'm trying to collect my thought here. Why someone would do this is and isn't the question here. This person apparently, and these are things I've picked up from various articles that I have read about this, the person on TikTok did originally state that they were a history major, or maybe they had like graduated with their history degree. So they were putting themselves forward as an authority, as a history authority. They are not. They do not have these credentials, and the more people dig, the more it's coming up that this person is not qualified to be speaking on the topics that they are trying to speak to, either professionally or amateurly, non-professionally. They have no reason to be saying these things. Like there's no weight behind their words other than the weight you choose to give it. Why someone would do that? There's a lot of reasons for why. There's, some, especially with the younger generation. I mean, I hate to be the old lady in the room, but I am. Sometimes they just do it for the laughs. I don't know if that's really what this person's doing, just because of the few videos that have I don't know if that's what this person is doing based on the videos that we will see, but I am like her. I'm not willing to put aside the idea that this person might be a Poe, and they may just be doing this, that they are doing this satirically to prove some kind of point. I suppose generously you could say that this person is an excellent example of how authority can be assigned to someone on the internet willy-nilly, or because this person put themselves on the internet and gave themselves false credentials and presented themselves as an authority, and there was no one to confront them, then the internet saw them as an authority and ran with it. Now, judging from the comments that will get read and mentioned in the videos coming up from the TikTok person, this person was challenged constantly from the sounds of it. So I have hope. I have hope that the internet is not swallowing this one.
They misappropriate different images, different scriptures, and just lie with an authority which is unfortunately being taken seriously by a few people online. And it's been taken more seriously because this person is blocking and deleting all comments that call them to the contrary, such as myself. I was blocked as well. We're going to pace ourselves because I get more worked up nearer the end because they become more extreme with the lies. So we're going to start off easy, start treading the waters, and we're going to debunk everything this person says because everything can be debunked.
So I do want to start here by saying it doesn't matter that everything can be debunked. Senza is very worked up about this, as she has every right to be. I am not dismissing that. I'm just saying, like, the tactic that's being used here is not going to achieve the result you're looking for, because at this point, and even with my video that I'm making right now, we are talking to a self-selected audience, an audience that probably already agrees with us and probably already doesn't believe this other person. We're already talking to a select group of people. So basically, we're preaching to the choir. And that's kind of my point. Cinza does have an amazing following. She has 66.k subscribers, so she does reach a much bigger audience than I do. And I hope some of those people are not people that are already in her camp. I mean, we have no control over who watches our videos, really. I don't think. But my point is that debunking this argument point by point, though useful and is good academic practice, is not going to be helpful in the long... It is going to be helpful in the long run. It's not going to achieve the goal that I think is being reached for here, because the goal is to point out how this person doesn't know what they're talking about and isn't an authority. Simply debunking what they're saying isn't going to convince anyone that already believes this person. It's the whole true believer paradox. It's not even a paradox. It's just a true believer argument. You cannot convince a true believer and if this person is not a Poe, if this person is not a troll, then they are a true believer. And you're not going to convince this person that they are wrong. It doesn't matter how much evidence you present. It doesn't matter how much you debunk it. You're not going to prove this person wrong in the eyes of their followers. Again, it doesn't matter how much facts you put out there. They're not going to believe you. They already have a set of beliefs. They already have evidence to support that set of beliefs. You are not going to change their minds. Hopefully, by confronting the dishonesty that's being used, not necessarily debunking the arguments, but presenting the dishonesty that this individual is using, like the fact that they are presenting themselves as an authority when they are not, that they claimed to be a degree holding individual when they are not. It's a difference between saying, I am an authority, you should take my word on it that I am an authority, and saying, I have a degree, I could show it to you if I wanted to, but I'm just not going to. That's the difference. Like, one of those is, confidence building. I'm trying to build your confidence towards me. The other one is a flat out lie. And that's kind of how you have to go at these people. You can debunk them all you want, but the debunking's only going to be interesting to the people who already don't believe, or who are honestly questioning. And those are good people to reach out to. If you're trying to reach the people that this person has even softly convinced, you have to prove how this person is a fraud. And you have to go at them where it's going to hurt, and that's proving that they are lying, that they are actively being dishonest, which she does do later on in the film. That Cinza does point out. I think it's one of the last things, and we will keep that in the video, because it's so good. It's just, it's like the perfect example. It's just textbook. Anyway, I think that's my rant on this one. I just want to throw that out there for people that, especially people in academia who are like, oh, I'm going to debunk every single argument this person makes. Have fun. And factually, it's interesting to me, but I'm already on your side. You're not convincing me of anything. I guess is kind of the point I'm making. If I already believed in, she refers to this person as Bear's Ears. If I already believed that Bear's Ears was infallible, which if you're one of her followers, they're their followers, you would kind of have to be, you're not going to reach me. I'm going to sit here, and if I even watch this video and listen to all of the arguments put forward, I'm just going to go into the comment section and rage comment about how you're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about and you're trying to cover up the truth, and it's not going to achieve the goal you're trying to get it to achieve. And I think at this point I am just rambling. Anyway,
But for obvious reasons, I'm not naming this person. I'm not naming their TikTok account. I don't want people to go over there and harass them, but also I don't want to give them the credibility and the views because they don't deserve it.
Right.
I do want you to go to the lady of the library, and I do want you to follow her, and I do want you to tell her she's doing a good job, and I do want you to send positive emotions towards the lady of the library, because as critical as I think I'm going to end up being at times, I think she's doing a great job. I do like this video. I think she's done a great job. The TikToker person, don't harass them. I mean, I don't even know who they are, so I can't tell you who, and I'm not going to, even if I did. Like her, I don't want to send negativity over there, but you know, the internet's the internet, so if you do know who they are, don't be a dick. Because if you're being a dick in my name, I'm not going to be okay with it. So.
Right. So you're telling me that you got an entire degree in classics, and it never occurred to you that there isn't a single Roman document? It always blows my mind talking to people who have invested their lives in the study of ancient Rome, because y'all don't seem to realize it didn't exist. It is a figment of the Spanish Inquisition's imagination.
I am so confused by this. Like, the first time I heard this, I was just like, wait, what? Who am I? What am I fan?
0 primary documents. None. This feels like arguing with someone in like the year 3000 CE that is convinced that Disney World was the ruler of the North American continent.
There is an argument to be made there, to be fair. there is an argument there.
It's not real, dude. Did you not think it's weird that anytime we find in situ ancient Roman sites, the letters are all written in Greek? We have Babylonian, we have hieroglyphics. No Roman. It was bred in circuses. It's a circus, man.
According to this TikToker, the Roman Empire never existed. It was merely the figment of the Spanish Inquisition's imagination to prove that.
Why the Spanish Inquisition? Because no one suspects them? I mean, like, literally, why? Why? Anyway,
At that point, they claim the following. 1. The Roman Empire and the Latin language never existed before the 1500s because there are no primary Latin literature resources. Okay. Everything we have now, they claim, is merely a copy of an alleged original. And because it's all alleged, it never happened. All Latin inscriptions, be they carved in stone or written, are apparently props and graffiti produced by those in the 1500s onwards, mostly by monks and nuns working for the Church in the Vatican, but also by some cheeky Victorians partying in Pompeii.
We should always blame the Victorians.
And apparently also contemporary archaeologists perpetuate this, but for unstated reasons. 2. All Roman emperors that we know of today were actually Greek. They wrote and spoke entirely in ancient Greek, and therefore all Roman architecture and structures worldwide, including those in Rome and Britain, are Greek, not Roman. 3. Ancient Rome...
That second point is aggravating because that second point is being made without evidence, and we see this a lot in the French community, and this person is clearly part of the French community. That whole like blanket statement without evidence, we see it all the time. But when you put a blanket statement like that forward and you put the oomph of authority behind it, it makes it stick, and then you get people repeating it, which is actually what this TikToker person is doing. They're just parroting an argument that they've picked up from somewhere else, and I'm waiting for her to get to it because I didn't write it down last time.
And its empire is a real-life Disney World. There were no Romans, no one spoke Latin, and there was no Roman culture. Everything was just Greek. So I didn't know about this, but it would seem that this TikToker has adopted a theory from a book series called The New Chronology.
This TikToker, she just says, is adapting these arguments from this new chronology. This is the first I've heard of these people. Well, okay, this is the second I've heard of these because this is the second time I've listened to this. But... so, according to Wikipedia, which of course could never be wrong, yeah, it's a pseudo-historical conspiracy theory brought about by some guy whose name I can't pronounce, Anatoly Fomenko. Fomenko? Who? God damn, there's 7. Guys, prolific, who argues that the events of antiquity generally attributed to civilizations of Rome, the Roman Empire, ancient Greece, and ancient Egypt. The theory further proposes that the world history prior to AD 1600 has been widely falsified to suit the interests of a number of different conspirators, including the Vatican, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Russian house of the Romanov, because we should always blame the Russians for something, all working to obscure the true history of the world centered around a global empire called the Russian Horde. I think I've heard about this Russian Horde thing before. I think someone has brought it up to me before, and I did not know enough about it to say anything at the time. So it looks like I have a new topic to be researching. Yay. I'm not going to sit here and go through this whole thing with you guys. You can find it on Wikipedia. It's not like it's hard.
The new chronology is a pseudo-historical conspiracy theory proposed by Anatoly Fomenko, who argues that events of antiquity generally attributed to the civilizations of the Roman Empire, ancient Greece, and ancient Egypt actually occurred during the Middle Ages, more than 1,000 years later. This theory argues that world history before 1600 CE has been widely falsified to suit the interests of several different conspirators, including the Vatican, the quote-unquote...
Somebody else just read the Wikipedia entry too. We're gonna forgive that one.
Holy Roman Empire, and the Russian House of Romanov, all working to obscure the true history of the world, centered around a global empire called the Russian Horde. Okay, so debunking the idea that the Roman Empire ever existed from a basic level is too broad. You know, I can put up picture after picture of blatant Roman architecture and socio-political structures that came from the Roman Empire, from colosseums to Roman roads to laws to the Roman baths. But this person believes that they're all entirely Greek, as demonstrated by their comments section, in which they state so. I'll put it up on screen so you can read it. So
this is what I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't matter that you can debunk the claim. As long as this person is a true believer, they're going to poke holes, even if they have to fabricate that hole in your argument, because it is vitally important that all of these Roman structures that we know are Roman are Greek. It is vitally important for their argument that that is true. And because that is so important to their argument, you cannot change their mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they are wrong. You can't debunk it to that individual or to their followers. And I don't know. You can read the comment section here. Because Rome had no culture. Why do they keep going back to this Disney argument? What the hell? I mean, other than the things that Disney did do, what did Disney do to this guy? Sorry about the camera. I am so curious about this whole, like, Disney connection. Oh my god, you guys. Is Disney the Roman Empire? Kidding. Here's the other issue. This person on TikTok isn't the originator of these arguments. Therefore, debunking this person on TikTok isn't going to solve the problem. And frankly, I don't think the problem can be solved, because once these things kind of get their claws into, they're like knotweed, man. Once they start sprouting, like, you can chop them down, but they're just going to come back again in the spring. You have to be vigilant. You have to constantly be repeating yourself over and over and over again. You have to constantly be confronting this when you see it. It's really the only way that you can fight back. Before I lose my train of thought here again, the person on TikTok is more visible because they're on TikTok and because they are clearly of a younger generation. And they clearly know how to use the platform of TikTok to their advantage, or at least know how to use it in a way that is useful. Good job, Sarah. But they are not the originator of the argument. Even if you were able to deplatform this person, you're not deplatforming the arguments. You're not getting rid of the idea. You're not destroying the theory. You're just, for a time, removing one of the more visible advocates for it. It's like if there was some way to actually take Ancient Aliens off the air. At this point, it doesn't matter, because the argument's been out there long enough and has gotten ingrained into society hard enough that it's part of society. And from the sounds of it, this guy's writings are popular enough, at least in Russia, that they're ingrained into society. I'm not saying that general society agrees with him or agrees with these ideas. But what I am saying is there's obviously a substantial part of it that does. Maybe they're only active on the internet, possibly, but people on the internet are real people somewhere in the world, so unless they truly are AI. And so you do have real life flesh and blood people walking around with these ideas in their heads and making decisions based on these ideas, as we clearly saw and clearly continue to see in American politics and obviously in UK.